Good morning. Can we have the roll call, please?
Member Osborne,
Present.
Member Seals,
Present.
Present. Member Rogel Miller, Member Massey, Member Haley,
Present.
Member Clementi,
Here.
Vice Chair Hayden,
Present.
Chair Mizuraka.
Present.
We have a quorum present. Next item, item B, approval of the agenda.
So moved. It's been moved in second for approval of the agenda. Right.
Support.
I moved.
Yes. Claire.
You moved it, right?
No, Commissioner. Moved it. And Member Osborne. Good morning. Support.
Moving to the next item, item C, approval of the August 4th, 2025 meeting minutes.
Please.
Motion approved.
Do we have a second?
Support.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Item D, report from the chair.
I don't have a report, I'm sorry.
Okay. We're moving on to item E, unfinished business. There is none listed. Moving to item F, new business. Number 1, review of the Detroit Institute of Arts program plan for 2026.
Thank you, Octavia, and good morning, everybody. This is one of our regularly scheduled Art Authority meetings, and the topic for this meeting and the DIA's reporting is a program plan for 2026. So in your packets that I provided, you should have this sort of long form narrative report that goes through the 4 service agreement categories and details our plans at this point for the next calendar year. So I thought I'd go through it, just a little bit of an overview, and then I'm happy to take questions along the way. I did submit a PowerPoint and I also included it in the packet. So I don't know if we can pull that up. So we'll pull that up on the screen so that it's available for anyone online today. And then we'll look at it together. Yep, so that's the end. Yep, just. So the first slide here that everyone can see, if this is the one we're on. And then I'll say next slide. Just kind of reviews the framework for the service agreement. So services are delivered in 4 categories of free admission, the school program, the senior group program, and community partnership programs. Next slide. So the first category is unlimited free general admission, which is pretty self-explanatory, but that is a benefit for residents of Wayne County. So anytime Wayne County resident wants to come to the museum, they just have to show their ID at the front desk, and that makes everything that's going on in the museum available to them. I always talk about the public programming that happens under Tony's leadership. Certainly the museum and the collection are all available, but we have a lot of public programming that happens that is typically free with general admission. In your packets today, you'll see a quarterly calendar. This is sort of highlights of everything that's going to happen at the museum in the next quarter. And then in this quarterly calendar is a page specifically that reminds residents of what their benefits are. We provide a lot of things for Wayne County residents, but we also feel like it's our job to make sure that we clearly communicate and highlight the things that we do and encourage people to come to the museum and use their millage benefit. So this is a new one. This one just came up, so this will take care of a lot of things going on this winter.
Can I interrupt, please? How, we know it at the table here, but how do other people know it?
Sure. So we do print advertising. We're building a really great social media following, and then pieces like this that we distribute. This is being distributed through the library networks in Wayne County. We also provide this to all of our partners, any of our partner organizations that work with the museum. We make sure they have them, and we really count on sort of those convening groups to help push the messaging out.
I don't want to dwell on it, but I live out there and every day I go to Panera Bread and then cut back and go down and it's dark and in the area where we are,
Mhm.
I don't see anybody. So do we need more lighting there? I don't know. I don't know if this is the right time to ask.
Yeah, I can't really speak to that specifically. If you have partners in the county, like we worked with the Grosse Pointe Chamber last year, we did inside out through all of the Grosse Pointes. So that the person who heads up the Grosse Pointe Chamber is now sort of in our network. So we ask our partners to help push out the messaging. We do billboards. We had a big billboard campaign this year. So all kinds of different things. I'm happy to take suggestions if anyone at the table has a group that you feel like could use some outreach or would like to distribute materials. Happy to take that input.
Okay, thank you.
Next slide. So moving on to the school program. So the school program is free field trips for Wayne County students, and that is for K through 12. We aim to bring in about 26,000 students a year. And then, of course, we have a corresponding spending goal. We do teacher PD to really help engage the teachers because they are the ones who are booking the field trips, and then providing experiences for our educators so that they can learn more about the DIA and learn different ways to bring that experience from the museum into their classroom. So go ahead.
What's the window?
Your mic.
What's the? Hello?
Yeah.
What's the window that the schools have to apply or make notification that they want to take part in the field trips?
So our group reservations department takes that information. We ask our schools to apply online. It just makes it more efficient for our group reservations department to process those when they're all in writing. I think we ask, we serve Wayne, Oakland, and Macomb counties. So I believe, and I need to check this, our group reservations department probably likes to get applications about 6 weeks in advance. The earlier in the school year, and I see Tony nodding because the school program is under Tony's purview. The earlier in the school year that the teachers can apply, the more likely they are to get the specific spot they're asking for. We get teachers who call and say, I want to come in on September 22nd at 10 o'clock. We may not be able to honor exactly what they're requesting, but we will provide options if we can't honor what they want. But really, like August, September is a great time. I mean, you can book your field trip for March if you call in August or September. Earlier, the better.
Is this? Oh, okay, K through 12. Thank you.
Yes, K through 12.
Julie, I see you have a lot coming up for celebrating the Black art. Is in Detroit, I know it's a lot of art galleries, but how is this distributed to the art galleries in Detroit by email, text, or is it delivered, or how are they talking about it? Because January is like tomorrow, right?
Yeah, if you have connections with specific art galleries like for-profit art galleries aren't typically a target audience for us. But if you have art galleries that you have relationships with, we'd be happy to provide you with a stack of them to take. But that's typically we're working with like nonprofit municipalities. That's really who we work with for service agreement work.
Okay. Thank you.
If I could, I have made and scheduled a visit with schools when I was subbing for the kids to come to the DIA, and it was wonderful. It was great. My question is, how are they improving that? Like, how are they improving the engagement with the students and different exhibits and stuff like that? Or is it just kind of like a well-oiled machine?
So Tony, you may want to chime in a little bit on this. So we have a group of gallery teachers who are dedicated to working with our K through 12 students. So if you come in as an adult group, that's a different group of people who tour. So we have a highly specialized team that works with our K through 12 students. We design different types of engagements for the students. So when you are applying for a school field trip, there's different options for different types of field trips. And our gallery teachers are training all the time. When we have special exhibitions in, they do training on those special exhibitions. So if you come in during a period of time, like for example, when we have a friend, there are gallery teachers who can do a tour that's more focused on that, not necessarily in the exhibition because it's difficult to tour in some of those smaller spaces. But Tony, I don't know if you want to add anything to that.
No, I think you pretty much said it all. We certainly will work with any school group to fine tune a tour if that is a request.
Question, Tony, how do we engage the students with this program that you all have every year where they are able to put their work, want the winners in the gallery? How do you engage the students? Do you get with the art galleries? I mean, not the art gallery, the art teacher, the principal? What does the reach out look like?
Both of those things. So we reach out to the school principal, and if there is an art teacher in that particular school, we've been reaching out to them as well.
I think
Okay.
you're speaking specifically about the
Yeah.
high school art show.
Yeah.
Yeah. What those numbers look like? You have participation is good or not so good? I know we can always do better.
I mean, I think in the past, participation has been good. One of the things we're focusing on is making sure that we're doing our best to get representation from as many different schools as possible. What happens when you get an art teacher who's really excited about it, they may have their students submit several pieces. So we like that too, but we're also really working this year, and that's based on conversations that we've had at this table too. And I've engaged Tony's team in addition to the community engagement team to look for different ways to get into as many schools as possible and see work coming from the widest range of schools that we can. So we've looked to see who isn't participating and giving them like a little extra nudge and a little bit of extra outreach. The show itself is always going to be about 70 to 80 pieces because that is, based on space.
Of course.
So,
You notice the increase? What have been 5 years? Alumni?
so yeah.
This will be the 5th year in 2026.
So what's the trajectory looking
So
like since we started?
Yeah, so I think, we built and then I think we're kind of at steady state and I'm looking to see if we can, by really analyzing where they're coming from, we're looking to see a bump, but more importantly, we're looking to see an increase by engaging schools who haven't been engaged.
Just one thing.
Thank you.
I've made the suggestion that you guys start a little bit early
Yes.
in the year so that students have time or, the word could spread a little bit. My other concern is when they're out of school, we know that we're about to be out on Christmas break. They're going to be out on winter break. They're going to be out on spring break. I think that if there's a little bit more solicitation, a little bit more a bump at those times when the kids are at home, maybe the artist could work on their artwork instead of during the times that they're supposed to be studying for math, English, and science, and just giving them a little bit more time. But that's just a suggestion if you guys could kind of boost it for those kinds of things. Okay.
Yeah,
those holidays.
you know, this one is very student led. But we're trying to work through the art teachers because, you know, it's difficult for us to um, like we don't have the ability to contact students individually, you know, going through the schools and through their art teachers are the ones who are going to be most sort of engaged and able to identify students who might participate. And the suggestion to start earlier, we definitely took that suggestion. Tony has been sitting in our outreach meetings and we pulled a lot more people from the museum in different areas to try to make sure that we're leveraging all of the contacts from all of our different programs towards this effort. So looking at like any school who's come on a field trip, they're getting that notification too about this. So kind of making sure that we're doubling up on, you know, people who are already working with. So and then, you know, looking for new. So I appreciate, you know, the ideas that have come from this group and we have definitely followed up on them. You know, as we get to spring, we'll start to see if
Yeah.
the fruits of our labor are, you know, are working. Yes.
Because the kids ride the bus so much. Do we have anything on the bus that the kids can read, that they can say, oh goodness, well, I can do that.
No, that's an interesting thought, but no, the public school buses, that's not something
No,
we've,
I mean,
yeah.
even just a regular bus,
Oh, okay.
the bus that leaves Grosse Pointe and comes downtown or vice versa.
Okay.
I think they have nothing to do, just look.
Thank you for that suggestion. Yeah.
Morning. We don't exclude private schools as well, correct?
We do not exclude private. K through 12 services is any school or group that services K through 12 students
Is it a
Homeschooling also, sorry.
yes.
and homeschools.
Do we have like a form or something? Because I know a lot of to make your work easier and actually make what we're actually more effective as far as getting to the people, getting the information to the people. And normally community groups and other groups actually help facilitate that. Is it like a form, or I think for us to do like a connection link or something where if like within our communities or even the schools we might be volunteering or working in, that we can help bridge that gap far and said, hey, we want you guys to be a partner within this. Here's a link where it can link directly with you guys so we can start building more of a infrastructure as far as getting this information out. And so like we're not behind the gun, we're a little ahead of schedule with some of the things and we can have more input on programming as far as the DIA and our community groups.
So we have a few things. We have an Edu News newsletter that Tony's team works on, and that is like an opt-in email list. So that's a possibility. We can send you the link to that. I'm looking at Tony because I'm not sure all of the mechanics involved in that piece of communication. We also have a county connections email newsletter that's a little bit more general. And then the last thing is just like the regular DIA listserv. So we have a lot of different ways, you know, listservs that people can sign up for where they can keep up. And then, you know, certainly our website. So I can send you the links to some of those if that's helpful. You know, we do a lot of outreach through our group reservations department to schools. So, you know, and we bring in close to 26,000 students a year. Just, you know, in context, our capacity is about 60,000 a year. So very close to half is serving Wayne County students right now.
But Julie, you said the library was a source. I know myself, a lot of the community groups would go to the library now and all the printed material, or if it's a way for some of them that use the computer, but a lot of that is done at the library because we seek information. And you mentioned the library. I don't know, did I miss that? They can get the information at the library about the program?
Yeah, so we actually Barbara Miller, who's on this team, connected us with a librarian who really helped us find sort of these big convening distribution points. So we're now working with the library network, and there's another one where we send our materials to them and they distribute to any library who is interested in keeping our materials. So that's new outreach that we worked on, and we think it's going to be pretty effective because these library networks, they're used to working with the libraries. They know how to do that distribution. And, that's one of the things that we've worked on this year. So if your library is willing to take our materials and have them, they will have them through this distribution center.
Thank you, Julie.
That's great.
Yeah, I mean, Barbara Miller,
Yeah.
she's a big cheerleader for the libraries and was able to make that connection for us. So we're happy to be able to do that. And then, we have a robust presence on social media, on Facebook. So tell people to like us on Facebook. They will see something from us almost on a daily basis. And, beyond just service agreement, our programming and all of the other things that you can do at the museum. So.
That's me.
Are you guys,
I don't have.
I know within the service agreement, are you guys willing to host community, come to community groups, meetings to actually solicitate some of the amazing programming that's going on in the DIA?
Yeah, so our community engagement managers, they'll go out and we call them community engagement talks, and they're basically kind of going through the 4 categories, making sure people know what their special benefits are. And then also we'll give an update on any special exhibitions or any, community work that we're doing. So yeah, we're happy to send someone out if you have a community group that would like a talk. Yep, for sure. And then of course, we continue to test our in-school program, our partners for 2026. That we're going to be further testing and refining our River Rouge and Lincoln Park. And we've also just finished up Gibraltar. So I'll have more on that as the year finishes out and we kind of talk about next steps for that program. Okay, thank you. You're right where I need you, Octavia. The senior program. So this is docent-led or self-guided visits to the museum. And it also includes our Melodies at the Museum, which is a monthly offering for senior groups. So our commitment is to bring in at least 60 groups a year, which we have not had any difficult meeting in exceeding that number throughout the year. So if you know of a senior group, make sure you send them our way. There is an application online. Just like all of our sort of group programs, there's an application online. Also in your packet, I believe you have the listing of Melodies at the Museum for the upcoming year. And then at the end of the year, in our year-end review, and of course at a half year, you'll see the list of all the groups that have come, so you can see who we're already working with. But send anyone our way. We serve rec centers, libraries, senior living communities. Those are our typical participants. Sometimes the Red Hat ladies, groups like that for seniors. It's 55 and up is what we consider a senior. And that program is, I know, we're being, yeah. I feel you.
I just have to say, many of my communities have taken advantage of this, and having the transportation is wonderful for them. And combining together too, so that they can get the numbers is another thing. So I know already I've heard from them that they're looking forward to the upcoming year. So this is a good thing to get out too, that we can
Yeah.
put into our libraries and things.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And, for free transportation, it's a group of 25 or more to be able to send the bus. But as Commissioner Clemente mentioned, some of the senior centers, when they're close to each other, if they can't meet that 25, we have on occasion been able to coordinate like 2 pickups so that we stop one, get 12, stop at another, pick up another 30, and then we've made that or not another 30, and the buses take about 50 depending on if there are wheelchair lifts needed or not. So. And then the last category, go ahead. Yes.
Man, Member Osborne, question. So kind of Member Hayden, his question sparked this in my mind, as well as Member Clemente. If we have a population of seniors who are in a community, and let's say we were to organize those seniors to meet at a certain spot for a program, would that be a possibility? Or
Yes.
does it have to be from one of our assisted living or senior centers?
Anyone who's able to organize a group of residents with a public pickup location, we can do that.
Okay.
And that's why I say we typically work with libraries or recreation centers, the places that have like a bricks and mortar, and that have a way to communicate with their residents. Like sometimes our libraries will put it in their library newsletter and ask people to sign up. So there really needs to be someone, and that's why we work with these groups, who's going to do the work to do the organizing.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so that has been done before. Commissioner Dobb has organized a group. I kind of go out to my people and let them organize it, but it's a very nice thing and they really enjoy it because it's something different that they don't normally get. The other thing is, and I don't know if you mentioned, like there's docents, is that the right word, that go out to, so if you organize a group to have a talk about a specific art, when you look in their website, they come out and give talks to the group. So I've seen one at my Lincoln Park Library before, and it was very good. She was very good, and she was from the area, and people enjoyed it. So there are ways that we can facilitate helping that for sure.
What
Yeah.
area is that?
I live in the Downriver area, and I represent District 4, which is Lincoln Park, Ecorse, River Rouge, Melvindale, and Southwest Detroit.
It's a big group.
It's a big group.
Yeah, so we call those, go ahead.
Renata and I, we did one on Livernois, so you had to be mindful of the parking, so whether it's a library or someone, it just has to be somebody with a given nod, that some people may not be dropped off, even though they're seniors or whatever decide. But just mindful of the parking, which will be more welcoming and not so much impactful or disruptive. So we want them to know where they're going and what we're doing, but the best thing they said is say DIA, and they just have all these people coming to go. So you want them to navigate the process and no cost, and that's sometimes what we have to navigate. So particular area we found just trying to keep that in mind and try to get as many people place our idea. Right. Without it being a burden on everybody.
That's an important point because they give a lot of tickets in Grosse Pointe.
Sure. Yeah. No.
And you don't want anybody stealing cars and stuff or whatever the rest of this is, we want it to be a joyful experience.
Sure. Yeah, I know, and I know Member Osborne is going with this. We host a lot of community engagement events for seniors and for children because we're hoping for them to be our next seniors. And to try to shift some of the burden off because we do a lot of planning around logistics and stuff. And, because we have a very large community, we would love to reach out to other community groups within the city and, within the county of seeing how we can collectively help facilitate this. Because I think the footprint of what we're doing together has to be done in every kind of way we can possibly fathom. actually make this what it should be.
Yeah, no, and thank you for the willingness to sort of get a little bit more involved in this. And I'm happy to, talk later if you want to talk about like what works, what doesn't work, what's worked in the past. And then you'd be working with our group reservations department to make that happen because they book the buses and do all that scheduling. And then Commissioner Clemente did bring up another senior program that we've been talking about bus trips to the museum, but just reiterating our behind the scene art talks. That's where a docent comes to a community location. So that's available online. That list of topics is there. So if it's a group like, I don't know, the Tuesday lunch bunch at the library, if they would like a speaker, they can go online and request that, and then request their topic. The Tuesday lunch bunch is in my neighborhood, so. Okay, so moving on to community partnership programs. So Inside Out, of course, is one of our biggest community partnership programs we do on behalf of all 3 counties. This is by application. So we open the application this summer. It's open for a couple months. We typically do this while the current Inside Out is up. It helps people to be able to see it in a community near them to understand what they are applying for. So these are the communities that we're planning to be in for 2026. We have a couple of mainstay ones. Of course, the Warren C. Evans Terminal at Detroit Metropolitan Airport, Wayne County Community College, that is a regular participant. This year, we were able to forge a partnership with the Detroit River Conservancy. So we'll be on the Southwest Greenway this year. And then we have a plan to sort of do different hunks of the Conservancy property over the next 3 years. And then, of course, communities that applied Ecorse, Gibraltar, Melvindale, Westland, an area in Detroit, Northville, and then Hines Park. The Northville Hines Park stretch, I think, is going to be nice this year because those 2 areas butt up against each other. So we're going to be able to do a nice kind of long ribbon there. So these are our partners for 2026. I always make sure that this group and all of the commissioners have that information well in advance of when the application goes out. So you'll see that again this summer as we plan for 2027. But we have met with these partners. They are working on image selection right now. So you'll see that coming up. Memorial Day weekend is usually when we are completely installed.
Through the chair. I have to say, after we had our meeting, we had a board meeting because Member Seals said about Hines Park. So I went down and talked to Parks, and Elizabeth got right on the computer. She applied so that Hines Park could do, and she thanked me, and she said to thank everybody, and especially Member Seals, about saying Hines Park, because sometimes it doesn't hit their radar to, apply. So she was very happy that I reminded her because of the talk that we had here. So I'm so glad that they made that list.
Yeah, it came through.
Good point. If she's a commissioner, do all the other commissioners, are they involved? Which district?
So, yeah, I mean, so I send the opportunity to all of the commissioners. You should probably be getting it from me at least twice as we get ready for the application. So
I make a point. Chair Bell has, we have different authorities and different people sit on different authorities and boards, and she asks us to report out to all the commissioners. So I make a point to anything that happens at our meetings or things that are going on, I will announce it at full board so that everyone's aware. Then it's in their hands, I can give them all the information, but they can do with it what they want.
Well, you know who ours.
I just wanted to kind of like go in a little bit because the airport is extending their art program to the McNamara terminal at this time. And I just wanted to thank Betty Mizaraka and Barb Miller. They are the ones who introduced the idea of art at the airport long before there was an Evans terminal. They introduced that struggle, that fight to me, and for 10 years we've been working at it. And I just wanted to thank Betty and Barb for charging me with that task to get that done. And now we know that it's going to happen. My question to you is, have you guys been contacted yet about the extension of the program outside of the Evans terminal for the McNamara terminal?
No, we haven't been contacted specifically for that, but we have been working with the new, and I'm not going to remember his name, the new art person for the airport. We were just out there right before Thanksgiving, replacing all of the labels.
Mhm.
All of the labels now have a QR code that takes you to the landing page.
Sure.
Of the museum, about the program, and then about the museum. So we did go out there and work with him on replacing those labels. So I'm happy to put a bug in his ear about the McNamara terminal too.
So I'm not sure. There was a contract that went to a company, so I'm not sure if he's over that, but I will be
Okay.
glad to connect you guys with that. But again, I wanted to thank Betty Mizaraka and Barb Miller because I mean, 10 years ago, I remember sitting at the table and for the Wayne County Council, the Arts, Histories, and Humanities Board, and they said that, and I'm like, yeah, why isn't there art at the airport? And these ladies, these wonderful ladies, and I think it was one guy at the time, they were just talking about art at the airport, and it wasn't a thing. And then you guys jumped in right away when asked. DIA jumped in right away when asked and did a installation. And now that it's going to go all the way to the McNamara terminal, I think that it's just important that you guys stay engaged and you
Mhm.
know, I don't want it to be one of those things where, oh yeah, we needed you when we first got started, but we're good now. So I don't want that to happen. So that's why I asked if you were engaged, and because I noticed I didn't see anything in this 2026 and I know that it's happening
Okay. No,
as of
thanks.
last Wednesday.
Yeah, no, thanks for letting me know. And, we do continue to make sure that we look at what's there right now and make
Yeah.
sure it's fresh. And that's why we did the sort of updated labels for everything. So it's beyond just what you see there. There's like a way to connect beyond that. But
Sure. Okay.
I will, yeah, I will check and see what they're doing in the McNamara terminal and make it clear that we'd be happy to participate in that expansion there. So that'd be great. Thank you.
I'm gonna brag a little bit here.
Okay.
Bill Clinton, he came to town many years ago, and I brought him in. And I remember us standing there on the grounds at the airport when that was dedicated, and it was no buildings or anything there. So we've come a long way just to get buildings and people.
Mm-hmm.
So little by little, it's happening, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you for that. Thank you for that background. Yeah, it's interesting. Like the terminal's been there for a while now, and we forget when there wasn't anything there. And
And I see the sign Warren Evans when I go. And I tell my dogs, that's my friend. My dogs are in the car.
Moving on to community partnership programs, partners in public art murals. So we completed 3 this year. We just at the Ford Center for Performing Arts in Trenton and the city of Wayne. In your on your PowerPoint, you see images from the work that we did this year, still this year, 2025. So we have plans, again, this is by application, and this is available to cities and municipalities in Wayne County. So we put the application out and we selected three locations for this year. So for 2026, we will be in Livonia, Grosse Ile, and Allen Park. The way the application works is the city that's applying has to submit a resolution identifying the space that they want it on, because this program We're working across all three counties. We make the offer to each city and they can have one. When we get through and we've served everyone who's interested in being served, then we can go back and double up. But right now, it's not like Inside Out where you can have it, every couple years. This is sort of a one and done till we've satisfied everyone that's interested. So Livonia, Grosse Ile, and Allen Park, it's first come, first serve, as long as their application is complete. So just a little bit of background on how we get to these three. So we're working with these already. Livonia has a location. It's their comfort station in Bicentennial Park. Grosse Ile, they identified a location at their airport. Allen Park, I have an address here. I don't happen to have the specific location or what that space is. It's on Roosevelt Street, 6615.
It, is that the starting point, or are there other groups?
So these are for murals. So these are the locations for the three murals that we're going to do in Wayne County next
Well,
year.
I was thinking about what our buddies over on St. Jean and Jefferson, Hubert Massey.
Oh, yes.
Does he in any of his work? I know I'm off quilt here, but I don't want to forget the question.
Yeah, so we engage artists for these. I mean, there's a whole process to how this comes to be. Hubert was helpful to us in one of our murals. He did the design, and then someone else did the painting. But he hasn't been, I mean, he's on the artist list. I'm not sure that this is a program that he's going to participate in, but he's certainly welcome to be involved.
Well, for those that haven't seen it over there on St. Jean, you ought to go and see. It's a whole block of billboards on it. And how do you get people to go over there and look?
Yeah, that's over by the Stellantis plan. I actually took my team over there after you had suggested we go look at it just to get, a little bit of background on another mural, but it's
Yeah, if we could
gigantic.
get more people to leave Jefferson, which is only a block and a half, and go up and see that
Mhm.
and tie it into the DIA, that would be cream.
Next slide.
If wishes were horses.
Yeah. I think back one. There we go. So I just talked about two of our really big community partnership programs, a little bit more specifically, but of course we continue to do drop-in art making at fairs and festivals, Concert of Colors, which is a big program that takes place on our grounds, Inside Out Literary Arts, that is a poetry group that we work with, our community studio group program. And in your report is more detail on the groups that we've worked with and plan that we'll work with. An exhibition of that work is coming up, which I'll talk about a little bit later. And then I always put library rec centers and community groups because these are really great connectors for us. So I always add that to the list. We will do community trips as well. So in addition to the senior group trips, we can also do community trips to the museum. So sometimes these are families. It just depends on what kind of organization in the county is interested in organizing. So we will send a free bus for that as well. But that is a little bit different because they're not coming for the senior group program. They might just be coming for a public program or just coming for, a tour day at the museum. So we do those every year. So that's kind of a summary of where we are with our planning for community partnership programs. And then I was just going to finish up by talking a little bit about some of our special exhibitions, unless anyone has a comment before I move to the next part.
Commissioner,
It's one for district court in Allen Park.
Thank you.
Commissioner Osborne, I had wanted to go back one slide to the community partnership program with the mural program.
Mhm.
Can you speak? I know you said it's an internal process, but are we using artists who are Wayne County based for the Wayne County projects, or is that just like by application that the artists are selected? How is that process?
So that's really part of the process with the community. So when our community programs manager starts working with them, they do a little community survey. They, kind of look around the area, talk about what's important to that specific area. And it's really a conversation between the folks who are organizing at the community level and our community programs manager. So they may say they have an artist that they would really like to use. And then our community programs manager will make sure they know about that artist, review the portfolio, make sure they feel, comfortable that's going to be an artist that is suitable for the project. A community may say, we have no idea. Who would you recommend? And then our community engagement manager might pull like 2 or 3 portfolios. On our website, there's an artist interest form. So if there's an artist who would like to make themselves known to the DIA and be considered for a project, they can submit their information in their portfolios. But it's really up to our community programs manager to understand the project, understand the community, understand what the community wants, and make those recommendations or use an artist that the community is recommending.
Okay,
So,
thank you.
and it's different with every community. Some of them, they go in knowing exactly who they want to use, and others are really, really open to different ideas. So it just depends on kind of where the community is
Right.
when
Thank
we
you.
start the work.
One other quick question. With the trips for the children and the seniors, and please excuse me because I need to come and visit you guys as far as the invitation. Could we like modify like far as a particular group, like is lunch provided, things of that nature, or say if it's coming from a particular group within the city, and we wanted to try to make it just more than just, you picking them up from one location, busing them to the DIA, of like providing a more intimate event for them, or I don't know the parameters of.
Yeah, I mean, for the K through 12 school program, we don't provide lunch. We don't have space. A lot of time, there are times when schools have to arrange their trips so they can get back to school to have their lunch. I mean, that's something that Tony's team's very familiar with. We just don't have lunch facilities for school groups. The senior program, I mean, we're serving like a pretty we bring in 30,000 students, we bring in, like 75 senior groups. We just don't, if a senior group comes in for a self-guided tour, we will give them a coupon for coffee and a cookie in the cafeteria. If they're coming on a bus, then we send cookies back with them to go. So that's the extent of the hospitality for our senior program. Schools, like I said, we don't provide lunch. The, kids have to eat lunch at their school, or we do have limited lunch for brown bag, but it's a much smaller percentage of what comes in that day that we have the space for.
If I could just, when I did bring students over there, I think I brought maybe about 95 students that day. What we did, we were reading a book, Summer Mariposa, something. It was something. And I brought the students over there from Fisher Middle School. And what I did, I set it up for them to go to the DIA. But then because what was the exhibit then?
The Apprentice.
Apprentice was the exhibit. So I wanted it to relate to the book that they were reading and all of that. But when we got back to the school, what I did, I had food catered from a Mexican restaurant so they could have the full experience of Mexican cuisine and all of that. So I think as you get these, if you're planning on getting a group together, because I see you've asked that question a couple of times, I see you're really trying to get some seniors together. If you do that, I will be more than happy to assist you with your seniors and making sure that a lunch is provided and it's a collaboration with the DIA and what you have going, just so that they can, you don't take seniors anywhere without feeding them. We know that. So, or kids either, or kids either. So I will help you with that. And I'm just trying to make sure that you understand, like a cookie is cool, but that's just the appetizer for what you're going to provide them when they get back to the meeting place after you do this. So when you get ready to do that, I'm more than willing to help you. And the DIA, if you guys have groups that you want to, do something special for, just reach out, in Wayne County. If you guys have groups that you want to do something special for, just let me know. And then we can try to figure out, who wants to donate a great lunch salad and chicken breast and all of that kind of stuff for
I
people.
think
So
that's
just let us
awesome.
know. Okay.
Yeah, that's
All right.
awesome. And certainly the schools, you can work with their cafeteria and they will arrange lunch for the kids. So,
Yeah.
To your point, Renata and I, we often work with the seniors, and yes, we do like to eat, but it's also an event, so we have it both ways where we can go back and eat, or some of us, because some of us self-guided too when you go down there. So some of us seniors want to see everything, and then some of us want to go off by ourselves or go to the cafeteria because they need to make money too, and some of us making a event out of that or opportunity to socialize in that perspective. But I appreciate that you remember that in making it a whole event, it has to be a healthy event for the seniors also in terms of their pocketbooks. If you gave me a chance to go down there, I can't just go down there. Maybe I can't go because I'm not going to spend $25 when I get down there, and I do have to eat. But it does help those that maybe at the facility that couldn't make it down, but they can be a part of the whole experience when they come back to where they're staying. They can hear about it, talk about it. Maybe they've got packages that they can bring back and talk about it and eat about it at that. And that's really what you took from you about sharing the experience and everybody getting the more advantage of what we're trying to do here. It's a great picture.
And just to manage capacity in the museum, we typically bring our school groups in the morning, and that's why senior visits are usually in the afternoon. So just managing that capacity, school groups, they can start coming in at 9. By the time lunchtime hits, our school groups are typically leaving, and then we book our seniors in the afternoons. And that also has to do with bus availability and that kind of thing. So
Thank you, ladies, because it was weird because I was in Montreal at the Museum of Contemporary Arts, and the exhibits was amazing, but the most amazing thing was sitting in the cafeteria with a senior group that I sat there for almost 3 hours and just engaged. And I thought that was the most amazing thing of that visit. So if we can, I'm a stickler for our seniors because they are everything. So,
Thank you.
oh my God. But no, yeah, listen, I might be one in a couple of years.
Stop Betty, speak up. We thank you.
No, but I just think far as, just making it a true experience from the beginning to the end, it's the attraction of everything. So.
So just going through some of the exhibitions we have coming up. Next slide. So we talked a little bit about our student exhibition. So of course we have our longstanding DPSCD Community School District exhibition in the spring, followed by the 5th annual Wayne County High School Art Exhibition in the summer, which, we talked about that under community partnership programs. Next slide. I think next one. There we go. A little bit about what's happening in the museum right now. If you've been to the museum lately, you may have noticed that our contemporary galleries are closed. They are undergoing a major renovation, and that should open in October of 2026, not 2025. And then while that work is being done, a lot of highlights from our modern collection, our Van Gogh or our Matisse, things that people are accustomed to seeing in the museum, those are installed in galleries right outside of Rivera Court. So during the construction, while we have to put some of our collection in storage, we really have some of those highlights there so people can continue to see them. And then we recently reinstalled our African American galleries. Those are now located on the galleries on the other side of Rivera Court. This was a big project that we've been wanting to do for a long time. It took our early African American collection and our collection from 1850 to about 1980, and it united it all in these galleries right outside of Rivera Court. So if Salvador were here, he was sorry he couldn't be here today. He would say it is like a history of African American art from the very beginning till about 1980. I know Commissioner Clemente joined us for the opening of that. Member Osborne, I believe you were there too. So anyway, that is, it's not a special exhibition, that is a permanent gallery, but because it is new, I just wanted to sort of bring that up to give you a little bit of context for what's new at the museum. Next slide. And then current exhibitions, we do have guests of honor. This is just a small collection, 3 pieces in our Baroque galleries. And then our contemporary Anishinaabe art, a continuation. This exhibition is up till April 5th. It is representatives from the Great Lakes tribes. This is a contemporary exhibition, so most of these are living artists. And this is we've been getting really wonderful press on this. I'll send some information for you to read through on it. This is really a must-see exhibition. It's really beautiful, and it is free with general admission. And then upcoming in 2026, next slide. We're going to be reinstalling the contemporary galleries. While that is not a special exhibition, that will be much like when we launched our new African American galleries. They're going to be really beautiful. The image here is an image from our Tiff Massey exhibition. This is a piece called Baby Bling, and the DIA did purchase this piece. So this will be a focal point when we reopen the contemporary galleries. And then, of course, in the fall, our special exhibition for fall is Georgia O'Keeffe exhibition. So this is focused on sort of the later half of her career, more focused on architecture rather than maybe what people think of when they think of Georgia O'Keeffe, you know, skulls and flowers. This is very different and kind of a poignant exhibition, and that will open in the fall as well. And then, of course, fall is always busy at the museum. Our 14th annual Ofrendas celebrating El Dia de Muertos. So we had that. This will be the 14th year in 2026 of that exhibition. And that is in partnership with Wayne County organizations, the Mexican Consulate of Detroit, Mexican Down Community Development Corporation, and the Southwest Business Association. So that is a collaborative exhibition, and we're happy to have it for its 14th year. And I know Member Seals brought her school group there. It's very popular with school groups. That's one if you want to come during Ofrendas, book early. So like I said, there's a lot of detail. Yes.
Just one question. So this year, I know because of construction, you kind of sprinkled it throughout the galleries. Are you going to do that again, or is it going to be in one spot?
So that's TBD.
Okay.
We've been meeting about that and kind of going through the pros and cons of, you know, having it throughout the museum instead of a dedicated space, and also looking at the full exhibition schedule to schedule all of the spaces appropriately. So
Okay, thank you.
I'm not sure yet.
I have a question.
Mhm.
Based on, she represents a big district. Where are all the other people? Where are they and their people? Meaning she represents downriver, but other areas, are they familiar with all this too?
Well, I mean, we are doing our best to get the word out. The commissioners aren't necessarily responsible for turning out residents, but we communicate with the commission just because we know
I
if
think
we
it's a
can
good thing.
if we can hop on some of their communication tools, like for example, we have sent commissioners little blurbs that they can put into their newsletters. So just trying to leverage all of the different ways that the commissioners communicate, if they're willing to put things into their email newsletters or their newsletters, we're happy to provide that.
Thank you.
Yeah, there's 15 of us and they get all the information. I know that
Oh.
emails are sent to them and
Well, my
then-
commissioner, you don't get anything.
oh, well, that's unfortunate. I'll send it to you.
So that's just an overview of what we have planned for the upcoming year. Again, there's a lot of detail in this report. So please feel free to reach out if you have any questions. We do have the opening. One thing that I think for 2026 and for this year, our community group program, we do have an exhibition of the work that's created in our studio with these community groups that we work very closely with. That I'm looking at Tony because that is something that his team works on. And that exhibition, is it opening this Friday? Yeah, opens this Friday and it will be up through the holidays. Yes. So if you want to see, a little sampling of some of the work that our community groups do in the studio, come check that out.
I have another question. I'm sorry to ask so many. What
okay.
if older people want to go? Do they have enough wheelchairs there for people?
Yeah, so we have at all the two main or the three main entrances, there's wheelchairs and there are the little motorized scooters as well.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, yeah.
So that completes my report for today.
One other question, if I may, through the chair. Sort of the
Your mic.
plan, and the things that are just for this board. You mentioned to me that I could present to 6 or 7 art galleries that I do personally try to reach out to on Livernois. Would it be possible that I can get some of this colorful stuff for them to present to them, each one of them?
Sure.
Because I fuss about engagement, so I got to take something with my mouth and my complaints, right?
Yes.
And we do have 5 of them over there. So this is beautiful stuff, and I think they'll love to look at it, art people and that. So if I could get,
Yes, I can get a packet
Packages.
together for you. I actually had a little packet here for Barbara Miller, so I can put one together and get that over to you as well.
I would appreciate that because it's like 5 of them that I'd like to present it to.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Thank
Happy
you.
to do it.
One other thing through the chair, okay, we have a digital, is this digital? Because as much as I love singers, I love my daughter too, and I don't want to keep cooking the planet as far as printing so much. Do we have a digital file of this information that can be sent over so it can be,
Through the chair was actually included in the packet that was sent out to you.
was it?
Yes, via email.
Always on top of it. Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you, Octavia.
We're on to item number 2. Approval of the Wayne County Art Institute Authority.
Approval. Are we on number 2?
Yes.
Approval of the Wayne County Art Institute Authority proposed budget for fiscal year 2026.
Motion.
Support.
It was moved by
Commissioner Hayden.
Commissioner.
Member Hayden.
Yeah,
Member Hayden and supported by Commissioner Committee.
all those in favor?
Aye.
So we had the approval. And we're going to now discuss the approval of the 2026 meeting dates.
Yes. So, through the chair, the board typically meets 4 times a year. So I just wanted you guys to kind of go over those dates now so we can have something proposed for next year. And it could change based on everyone's schedule, but want to kind of have something on the schedule for next year.
When, well then how,
We typically meet in March.
in March?
That's the first meeting.
Okay,
Do you guys want to take a look at your calendars and discuss a March date?
we meet on a Tuesday,
Monday.
Monday.
Monday. Will that be the 9th or the 16th of February? Of March?
Yeah, if I may, so the meeting that we have in March is the year-end review of 2025. We typically meet with the art authorities kind of the end of March, early April, because there is an audit that happens in February, and late March, early April, that audit will be complete. So I would recommend looking at end of March, early April.
You want to choose the 30th now of March? It's a Monday. 31st is Tuesday.
Quick question. We know that the signing of the millage is coming up. What date is that we need to have that signed?
So that form has to be signed and submitted by September 30th. So the second or the next meeting of the year that I have on my schedule, we usually meet kind of mid-August. So we could it could be signed then. It could also be signed at like the March, April meeting. But the deadline for that is September 30th. So either of those meetings would be timely.
So you're talking about the 23rd or the 30th? Yes, preferably for you, the 30th.
Yes.
You're talking about for March, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So what's the preference of the board? It's only two, 23rd or the 30th.
That's
Well,
a Monday, right?
it is
Make a motion. Well,
Do we have a motion?
before, if we could just have a little discussion, if the report comes out at the end of March, beginning of April, is it possible for us to have our meeting in February instead of March? Because if we do it in March, the report might not be out, and then we won't even have time to have a discussion about it until
Right.
April.
So the service agreement audit takes
I'm sorry.
place in February. That's just when the auditors are in the building.
Sure.
And then, so what I'm saying is typically the year-end report, we do that at the end of March or early April, because with that timing, I'll have the narrative year-end report and I'll also have the audit report from the auditors complete. So if we want to do it earlier, I can have the narrative year-end report done sooner than that. And then if you wanted to see the audit report, you could look at that at the half year. But if it's
to the board, my concern is if we meet, we need time to look at the data that's collected and to make decisions about things moving forward. And if we do it right at August and it needs to be signed in September, we do not have time for discussion. So my question is, if the report is done in April, if we have a meeting in March, we should be having another one in May. If the audit is done in March, April, that gives us a whole month to kind of look over things and have a discussion in May. And then again, right before we sign.
Excuse
For
me, through
the-
the chair, we will also have to meet sometime in June to approve the audit. So there will be a June meeting.
I'm sorry. I think there maybe we're confused. I I can only speak with the reports that the DIA is going to present. So when I say audit, so there's a review of our service agreement activity for 2025. And that happens in February, and I'll bring that final report. I mean, that's closing 25. I'll bring that final report when I do the year-end review of 2025. That happens in March and April. That has nothing to do with,
Separate, totally separate.
Yeah.
From what Julie's
Agreed.
speaking of.
My concern is as we're trying to go into a new service agreement for 10 years, I think that we should have all of the information that the DIA is providing and have time to review it, to ask questions, to talk to our lawyers and everything. So I don't want to meet in August and we're signing the service agreement in September. I mean, because if we want changes, we have to have discussion about changes prior to signing it.
Yes.
Does everybody agree with that?
Yes.
Before we sign it in September, I just want to make sure we have enough meetings to talk about what's in it.
sorry, I misunderstood what you were asking about with the September date. So every year, this group signs the paperwork to levy the millage. That's by September 30th. What you're talking about is this group decided rather than doing a 10-year service agreement, this group decided to do a 3-year service agreement. And that 3-year agreement will be done at the end of calendar year 2026. So that's sort of an unusual piece of business that only happens every so often. The first service agreement was 10 years. But when this group decided to do a new service agreement, this group decided to do only 3 years. So I feel like I've added to the confusion because there's a lot of different things we're talking about. So Octavia is talking about just the regular calendar year schedule of meetings. Once you set that, this group may want to set other meetings to talk about the service agreement. Unless, you want to add those to the agenda for your regular meetings. I'm not sure how this group is going to approach that.
Through the chair, you saying those could be special meetings to talk about the service agreement? Okay.
Absolutely, there could be additional meetings for
But
discussion.
right now, we're just talking about the 4
Yeah.
meetings that we have through the calendar year.
Yes. Well, 5 is we need to meet. 4 or 5. We can have the 4 regular meetings and then we can just meet in June for the audit that has to happen, or you can incorporate that with another meeting, just have 4, whichever.
I wish we had something in writing in front of us. It might be easier that we have to meet 4 times or 5 times a year and kind of I think that's what, and then I did look this up and it does say December 31st, 2020, or December 23rd. That's where our 3 years.
Is it?
And so we will have to have some special meetings if we have some discussions. So can we set the 4 or 5 right now?
Or at
And
least set
then
the first one, if you guys need some time to
Oh,
decide.
or
for
set
the
the
next.
first one?
Let's set
Yeah.
the first meeting today,
Yeah.
and then at the next meeting, you guys will have more time to look at your calendars and your schedule, and we can schedule the other ones after
Okay.
we meet
Okay.
in March. for
That
the
sounds good.
first
Yeah.
one.
Through the chair, do we have the information of when the first service agreement was signed? The process that committee used as far as,
I can look that up. I don't have it on hand, but I can send it over to you.
okay, so we can get some form of a framework of how that was worked before, and we can work that into our next meeting.
Absolutely,
Thank you.
no problem.
So we're gonna, through the chair, we're gonna just set our first meeting now.
In March, are we referring March?
I'll make a motion that the first meeting is March 30th, 2026.
Or
I second.
Is there a second?
I second.
Okay, it's been moved in second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Motion carried. Okay, next is open a bank account?
Through the chair, please, if I may. A couple of things. It was whether the pleasure of the board, what was the preferred bank? And I understand, correct me if I'm wrong, our attorney was not required to provide the form necessary to open the account. And our board recommended that we had more than one designee. And now that we have a couple other, the pleasure of serving, I think it need a little conversation about how we move forward to do this. So I thought that we would get the papers from the attorney, but no. So how do we want to do this so that we can complete this task?
If I
Open the
may, through
account.
the chair, speak with Julie from Attorney
I can't
Perkins'
hear
office.
you, I'm sorry.
And speak with Julie from Attorney Perkins' office. In our bylaws, they are not authorized to set up an account for us. So it's something that the treasurer has to do and at the last meeting. I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, you can read it. And she has something from Attorney Perkins that she'd like to read for you guys.
Good morning. My name is Heidi from Attorney Todd Perkins' office. Unfortunately,
Office? I'm sorry.
Attorney Todd Perkins.
Okay.
Unfortunately, he's in a jury trial today. That's why he is unable to attend the meeting. But he did give me a write-up regarding the small business taxpayer exemption distribution to the Wayne County Art Institute Authority. The biggest issue is whether the treasurer of the authority has the authority to open up a bank account into which the funds will be deposited without a vote to the board. The answer is yes. In Article 4 of the bylaws, it gives the treasurer the authority to perform all acts incidental to the position of treasurer fixed by or incidental to the articles of incorporation. The draft of the articles that we have gives the treasurer the authority in Article 4 as well as in Article 5, paragraph 13. The attorney does not have any authority to open any bank accounts or provide any documentation. The best route to go is to contact whatever bank you choose and ask them what documentation is needed, and those would be needed to be provided by like the bylaws or any authority documents that the Wayne County Art Authority has. We, as the law firm, don't actually have any of those documents on file. So that's why Mr. Perkins had me reach out to Ms. Haley. But it would be whatever account she chooses. Once that account is open, if Ms. Haley provides our law firm with the banking information, then our law firm can file the forms for the tax exemption. Easy peasy. Does that help?
It's confused me.
Through the chair, I mean, the process, I mean, whatever bank we use, they can pull up the forms because it's already registered. The other part, as far as our treasurer, is our treasurer required to be bonded? Because that's a key issue as far as dealing with any money of this. That person needs to be bonded, and this board would then have to have at least 2 signatures, or 3 in this case, as far as the treasurer and the chair and the vice chair as far as regarding moving any money.
That's what we asked about, yeah.
Yeah.
The bylaws were not specific on the bond. We did look that up as well. I came from a banking background, so I looked into it as well, and there just wasn't in there. So I'm not
Sure. I
sure.
wonder if our commission counsel is online, if she has any. Felicia, are you online?
Through the chair, yes, I am.
As we've had some talks about bonding through commission stuff. I don't think
Through the chair,
Yeah, I would make a recommendation that we do have,
Yeah,
to be
yeah.
bonded, like, yeah.
yes.
No,
and what the body may want to do is have the attorney provide you with some revised bylaws that maybe this board can adopt that touch on some more details of issues that you're looking at today, such as bonding and policies regarding the bank account and how that should be handled and who would have access and where would the checkbook be,
Well,
and
I'm
et cetera.
confused.
You probably need your lawyer to draft those documents to make sure everybody's in line before you proceed.
Thank you.
So back to the attorney, back to our attorney to put together what we would like to see happen. Let's do that. If I can get the approval of this, yes, of our request, we have a request from our attorney about what we'd like to do. Revise the bylaws so that we can see about the bonding and 3 designees on there with the approval of the board. Sorry.
Can we repeat? I'm sorry, the feedback is really hard for me to understand what all is being said at the same time. So please tell me, I understand that you're asking the attorney to revise the bylaws so that the treasurer is required to have a bond and 3 signers. Or did you want 2 signers, the treasurer and 2?
Based on what she said, we're going to follow the recommendation that was jumbled that we just said. We don't want to change it. I like to stick with what she said. 3.
3 total, including the treasurer.
Correct.
Great.
One question. We're not talking about the money from the millage. We're just talking about the money that's allocated to the board, which is about what, $9,000 or something like that?
Through the chair, this is some kind of money through the state. I don't
okay.
exactly
I remember
remember.
that.
You
I
remember?
remember that.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know. Just there was so treasurer and 2 other signatures you need to know, or treasurer and 3 other signatures. I don't.
Treasurer and 2. So
The treasurer and 2.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
I also remind the board that we had a discussion with our attorney about the parking. You remember he put all that together about how that would be done, how we would be. So all that is going to be part of it because we paid for parking and he had presented an idea of how us showing up to the meetings would be able to prove that we had to pay parking down here or we could be paid back for it. So that was a discussion that he still will have to be a part of when we put this together, because if there's no money, we were just said we can get some money, but we didn't have any money to be paid back. So that's another reason why we need the support of him, in my opinion.
So through the chair, if you guys, excuse me, if you guys had a chance to look at the budget, the parking is included in the budget. They just
Okay.
haven't quite figured out how to reimburse you guys,
Mhm.
but parking is in the budget.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Well,
been,
that was
The Wayne County, excuse me, if I
Treasurer.
may, through the chair. It's the Wayne County treasurer that we're waiting on to figure out how to do the reimbursements. I think we did have a discussion, we kind of got that far, and now we're waiting on that. And I know it's been some time, so I think we might have to revisit that with the treasurer's office. But we did get information from council about that. So that's where we're at on that reimbursement. This money will have from what I understand, specific earmarks of how it can be spent.
Right.
Once we get it, and we don't even know really how much it is yet. It's something that was going through the state. So I'm refreshing my own memory on this. So thank you.
So we're basically just kicking it down the line again.
No, we've got some, we need pilots.
Are you sure of that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
it was a
So-
request, yes.
So.
So the next.
Motion.
I make the motion that we contact our attorney about having 3 designees, so the treasurer and 2 designees, and also
Rewriting the bylaws.
rewriting the bylaws to provide for this recommendation.
Support?
It's been moved in second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those, any oppositions?
I'm sorry, through the chair. The clarity of it is the vice chair and the chair will be along with the.
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
Absolutely.
Okay,
yes.
so. So now what do we have? Statement here. Who's gonna make it?
One moment. Attorney Johnson has her hand raised. Give me 1 second, please.
I remember when we had a discussion last, maybe a couple, maybe last year, they wanted to know how much to make. I mean, how much the parking tickets and all that. Is that wasn't anything ever discussed and came to a conclusion then?
Oh.
No?
That's part of what she was talking about. That's work in progress right now. But I guess that would be under we're talking about treasure, so
Work in
all of
progress.
that is a work in progress.
Work in
She
progress.
just
The-
Gave her report.
The art authority be closed.
I might have misspoke, so I think our council, my commission council's online, I'm not sure.
Felicia, you ready?
If there was food there, they'd be running.
Just with regards to the parking piece, I believe that this new bank account will resolve the issue. The problem is that the county treasurer does not hold an account for the authority. They simply collect the millage and then disperse it, but you don't have an actual account. If you establish this bank account, that would then provide you a means to then reimburse everyone for their parking, if that makes sense.
Thank you, Felicia.
Could she repeat that?
You want me to, since I'm right here? So she said, once we get this bank account, the treasurer doesn't have anywhere to put the money for us to reimburse people. So once we have a bank account, then that will probably, we'll be able to then reimburse people for parking. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
So, yeah, we don't have anywhere to put them.
That was the missing
That was a missing piece. So there we go.
piece, but we got it now.
Right.
Thank you.
Any? You want to go ahead?
So all in favor? Oh, I'm sorry, was this any discussion regarding this? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Any abstentions?
Item G. Item G, such other matters as may be properly submitted before the board.
Such other matters.
So just one thing, as I look at the members, our attendance area,
I got it.
okay, I just wanted to make sure that Byron Osborne is added
Yeah.
to the roll call. One vacancy is not there.
You know, I was gonna say something after the meeting. I wrote it on my.
And one quick question to our council, was easy peasy in his quote when he said, you know, he could do that easy peasy, or was that just your kind of?
I take liberty for Mr. Perkins.
I agree. What's the last?
Osborne.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Any other such matters? No other such matters? Public comment. Is there a public comment?
Chair, we have no one online wishing to make a public comment and no emails were received.
They got tired of waiting.
Never.
Okay. Any more public comment? Is it time now to adjourn?
Member Osborne, motion to adjourn.
Second.
It's been moved in second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Must not have your email. You sent you, you know, around dates.
You talking to me?
Good, that is, you have it. I deeply apologize. No, because I'm trying to get one of our program directors for our community. We're we're coming to see you as soon as possible. And we need you guys. We have a home tour this weekend. It's a big one. We're setting up this room, like a winter wonderland. Where we
Oh,
have
Henry,
some tables for information for some of the amazing things. I don't know if you guys are available or not. Okay. Okay.
call Henry. Would you help me with this? I'm trying to.
Not good.
Face
Yes,
ID.
FaceTime, just set up later.
Yes.
I want to call Henry. He's in
Okay.
this building.
Some better. You guys need to speak at some of our community meetings. I
No.
think you to schedule
Not that I know of.
throughout, just not Boston. But
Octavia, do you know what's going on here with Reggie's phone?
oh, I
I
know.
don't know what to do.
I want to call Henry. He's here in the building.
Just for
You know Henry?
Yeah,